Hi, everyone. This is Tom with Hidden Beats, and today we're talking to Annalise. How are you?
Hi, how are you? It's nice to see you.
It's a nice day out today.
Yes, actually, I'm coming to you from California right now, so
Oh,
it's
wow.
it's nice and warm. I can wear a tank top if I want to be
Yeah.
frozen.
Yeah, I love wearing tank tops, and it's outside right now. It's just perfect here, so it's really nice that way. So let's get in a little bit about who you are. Let's talk about your music. What would you describe your music as?
I'd say it's straight up pop music, but with an alt twist, sad girl pop.
Oh.
It's depressing music, but it happens to sound happy.
Okay, well, no, I mean, I listen to it. It sounds so.
Well, thank you.
Mhm. So when you were coming up with music, what were your inspirations?
Life. Just
Life, okay.
the EP is called Welcome to the Shit Show because my life is a shit show. Um, I make a lot of mistakes just like any other human, and I decided to just write about it. And I just wrote about trauma, and a lot of topics that's happened since I would say since I started high school to so in Quebec you start high school at 13.
Mhm.
So from 13 to about 21, I mean like I graduated at 17 because we don't do grade 12. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'd say that just specific period of my life. And I just celebrated turning 22 last week. So I'm just like, hopefully, with this body of work coming out today, I'm just like, maybe it's the end of the shit show. Maybe it's a new era, finally.
Well, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
So when you're working on your music, what's your process like? I mean, it's about your life, but do you sit down and write specifically about one thing or brainstorm? How do you go about that?
I have a notepad in my phone that just goes with topic to topic of just different things that go through my brain. I'm extremely ADHD, so I'm just like, I have to write this down as fast as I possibly can, obviously. So it's just different topics I find or something, someone says something, and I was like, ooh, I kind of like that. So that's what I do. And then I go into a session. I have like a session with a producer, and then we go in there and we write the song. And it just because I just go through my ideas. I'm like, what are you feeling today? What should we write about? Or else there's something that really crazy happened, and then we're writing a song about it because it was too much build up that I need to get off my chest, you know?
hmm Yeah, I mean, and like you said, life, there's a lot of life to write about. So it makes sense that you can get a whole bunch of things out.
Yeah, exactly. But also like being in COVID, for example, I felt like I didn't get to live as much. I didn't get to live really 20s or your early 20s because I turned 20 in COVID, 21 in COVID, and 22 in COVID.
Yeah. So how did you and your music kind of cope with COVID?
Honestly, it was a blessing in disguise, kind of, I find, because I got to work with people who would not necessarily I would get to work with if we were in the instance of everything is back to normal, because everyone had a little more time on their hands. Everyone was more open to doing Zoom sessions. So I got some top producers just because of timing.
hmm
So I got to make some really good connections. My entire album was written on Zoom.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm the epitome of a pandemic artist.
Hey, but it seems to be working for people, and everyone gets to hear new music and a lot more at a time.
Exactly, exactly.
One of the fun things I did notice about your music, I checked out some of your music videos. You you look like you're having a lot of fun with those. Is that something you strive for when you're doing them?
Yes, I'm not sure which one you're referring to, but if you're referring to the one Suwa,
Yeah, so that
that
was the first one I saw.
that was a lot of fun to film. I swear, it was an absolutely chaotic day. We started late. The cops showed up. It was absolutely the epitome of a shit show, if I'm going to be completely honest. But we had so much fun filming it and just changing characters because I just wanted to be like, what type of people will you meet in a club? I was like, I've seen every single one of these characters. I'm just going to recreate them because it's just too funny not to.
Oh yeah, I've been in quite a few clubs. I also help with show promotion, so I get to experience all kinds of stuff like that.
Yes, you see all the wasted girls or and guys who they've had too much, way too much. I just hope they get in an Uber.
Yeah, I'm always worried about that. And the guys that like to, I'm a big guy, so they think they can pick a fight with me sometimes, and those ones are fun.
Those are interesting characters, right? I tell you, you'll never know what type of character you'll find in a club. There's everyone. There's someone for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So one of the big things with your music that I've noticed too is you you have very powerful lyrics. Is that another thing that you try to want to, or?
Um, I mean, sometimes it just comes out. I think I'm just a very dramatic person, so it just kind of reflects into the music. So, I mean, it's like sometimes over dramatized, I would say maybe. But
I,
yeah, I think the powerfulness is maybe it will come across to others that understand like wow, like maybe I feel the same way and they resonate with it.
and there's a lot of stuff like politically and everything going on too. Like your track for Tightrope is all about cancel culture.
Oh yeah.
What does that one mean to you? Because cancel culture is huge.
Well, I wrote about my fear of the internet, honestly, because from the ages of, I would say 12 to about maybe 16, I was not on the internet. I didn't have any social media. I was terrified because I got so severely bullied online that I just couldn't deal with it. I was terrified. People were making memes out of me and polls and stuff and just write terrible things about you. And I was like, what's the point? You carry this home all the time. So I just completely shut myself off of the internet. And
And
it took a lot of therapy to go back. I was scared to use a phone. I was scared to just in school using the computer. I was terrified because I never knew what was going to happen.
everyone, like, social media and the internet nowadays compared to when I grew up is insane.
It's absolutely crazy. And you see some people who are doing absolutely their best and they're being fine. And they'll always have someone who's just going to poke at you, or even something gets taken out of context, for example. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like at this point, that's why I wrote Tightrope, was because it came from a place of fear, but I learned to grow from it. Like I was terrified of the internet, and now I learned to embrace it because I mean, it comes with your job. If you want to be a musician, you have to be an influencer now, right?
I mean, yeah, there's definitely a little bit of extra added background you have to have now for that.
Exactly. It's absolutely wild. And that's why we wrote Tightrope. I was just like, because it feels like you're walking on a tightrope. You never know if you're going to step off the rail because you just have to watch your back at all times.
Yeah, cancel culture is a crazy, it's its own weird beast. And like, so I'm 37 and I didn't grow up with any of that stuff. Like, we just horsed around and played outside and did whatever. You got into a fight with your friends, you were friends again the next day. It would nowhere near like this, for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely not like that. I would follow you home. People would just make up about you. It's a very dark spot in those times. Like, I don't think it's normal to be depressed at the age of 10. But I mean, like, at the end of the day, that's how I came out stronger from it. So I guess that's where Tightrope came from.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a building thing. My niece is 14 and she's getting into the whole internet thing and that now too. So I hope it doesn't do much to her. I can shield her from that as much as I can.
Exactly. And that's where it comes down to the parents need to really watch what your kids are doing online, I guess.
Now,
They're not getting into those issues.
yeah, exactly. Now, with like everything and with social media, how have you been interacting with things like that now?
With hate, like hate comments, for example?
No, just social media in general.
I mean, I've learned to embrace it. I really got over my fear of it. And I think I wouldn't have the career that I have right now if it wasn't for the internet. And it was a blessing in disguise as well. I mean, like, if I didn't have the internet, I wouldn't have worked with half of the people. I wouldn't be in California right now, meeting the producers that I met online, who I did my entire album with. And I got to meet them for lunch the other day, actually, finally.
No, that's fun. And yeah, like I found that a lot of people had to adapt and learn social media for COVID. And there's been quite a few different avenues that people had to work on.
Exactly. It's absolutely insane how it changed so many people's lives, but also for the better. I guess you can work from home now, so that's great, right?
Yeah, like I'm working from home in my messy office because I got like 6 things on the go at all the time. So that's you adapt and evolve into the situation.
Exactly.
Did you get the chance to do any like live performances and things like that over social media?
Over social media, like you mean like a
Zoom situation or something like that? Yeah.
I would say so. I was in a competition in September, and it did we did it online, and it was kind of like a hybrid, I would say, because they were projecting it at a venue in Toronto, but I was in Montreal performing.
Okay.
We had the contest. That was Becoming with Lawson Studios out of Toronto. They're great people. Lorraine's amazing. What else did I do? I did a lot of like Instagram live things. Like my dad and we did quarantine and cocktail for like a good 6 months. And we
Okay.
sit out there at literally at 5 o'clock, we'd start playing music for half an hour. And if the rule was you have to have a glass of wine in your hand. So everyone would come and tune in and sing songs, and we take requests, and we do that every other day.
It definitely sounds fun, that's for sure.
It was a very fun time.
Mm-hmm. That's I started doing these interviews actually when COVID kind of came up. Typically speaking, like we cover live events, so like I'm a photographer and I would go shoot shows, do whatever. It happened, and I transitioned into doing this type of stuff a little bit more. So I'm just making sure I'm checking off my notes as I go here too. I find that I can get so unorganized if I'm not paying attention.
Understandable.
So with the new EP, when you were working on that, did you have a specific process you were looking for, like picking songs and things like that?
Okay, so it started. It's kind of crazy. So it started with 2 singles, then it turned into an EP, then it turned into an album, then I shortened it to an EP and cut it into 2 EPs.
Okay.
So it was a process, and I wanted it to be. That's what I loved about the concept of a shit show. Doesn't have to be exactly cohesive, but it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sonically, it just sounds like chaos, and I mean, like, not controlled chaos is a shit show. So that's what I liked about writing this album. I really compared it to multiple things in my life because that's how I really saw my life, and I felt like it was a very good description in the 7 songs of how my life has been since I was 13 years old to 22 now.
Sorry, my dog just walked in and he's doing things.
Oh, puppy.
He wants to go for a walk or something soon, so he's gonna be bugging me for that. Okay, no, he's walking away with the pop bottle now. He's an old boy. He's 14. He just kind of does what he wants to do.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. Just check that out here. Yeah, I always found it interesting how people work on creating a project. So like I'm not a musician and I don't know what I would do to pick things like that. I always like to hear different sides of the story, I guess.
Yeah, so like all the singles that came out previously, they were supposed to be on the album, but I just realized, nah, not gonna happen. I was like, just put them out as singles, and then now we have an EP that's coming out, and there's about 3 new songs on it. 4?
Okay.
Yeah, 4.
What do you think of the music space right now? A lot of people are kind of going to the smaller album, like EP thing, or just releasing singles.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I think everyone has the brain span of a goldfish. And God, I love TikTok, but man, I tell you, TikTok, guys, like it really cut everything in half. A song used to be 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Now it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And if I'm going to be completely honest, I looked at a song the other day and it was only 1 minute and 40 seconds. And I was like, this is crazy. I'm like, this is absolutely so sad. And they used to play 5-minute songs. I was like, that's not happening.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you get those old school songs that could be like 12, 13 minutes long with
exactly.
And now it's the attention span of a goldfish is pretty good analogy for that.
It's just like everyone got ADHD from the internet. I was like, I was diagnosed with mine. I already knew I had it, but I was just like, damn. You just go on TikTok and it slowly deteriorates.
I can't get my head around TikTok. I feel like I'm at that point where I'm very good with technology, social media, all that stuff, but this whole new thing with me, it just couldn't wrap my head around it.
It took me a while to figure it out. It took me actually quite a bit to figure it out. And then finally I was like, man, I kind of understand this. I was like, okay, kind of. But I mean, like, it's just the fact that you have to always constantly be in front of a camera. You're always as much as you're a musician, you are a content creator at the same time.
I
Because
wouldn't even call it a musician anymore. I would say you're just a content creator at this point.
25% is the music. The rest of it, you need to just be in the public eye content. You need to be pushing content every single day that you're in the public view. Because then if they're just gonna forget about you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna make a mark on this world if you decide to, like, for example, I was in a meeting the other day and someone told me this and I completely agreed with them. They're like, it only comes down to 25% of the music. There's tons of talented people out there,
Mm-hmm.
but who's going to be the one who's going to put in the work? If you want to be a musician now, you need to be on TikTok. There's the musicians who don't want to be on Instagram. I was like, or be on social media. Well, it's sad, but you're not going to survive in this industry anymore.
No, not at all.
No, you need to take it by the balls and you need to just run with it, because if you don't, you're not going to get anywhere.
I actually worked with, like, just before kind of TikTok came out, I was working with a musician who wanted to not do live shows. And I was telling him, like, well, okay, you don't have a social media presence all as it is now. You need to do live shows to start getting a little bit extra and then build your social presence. And he was completely against it. And I kind of looked at him. I said, do you want to get anywhere in this career at all? Like, it's not going to get you anywhere.
No, exactly. It's changed so much, but also it's changed so much for the better because a lot of people are getting discovered now. You don't have to go on that. Like, think about in the 50s when you had to go around into bar circuits and try to hope to God someone is going to be in that crowd who discovers you and you get signed to a record label. Now you can just put a 15-second TikTok up, goes viral, and then you're getting a call from A&R of Warner out of nowhere. Because they're like, okay, we want to sign you. This went viral and we want to put money behind you.
Like, yeah, TikTok crazy. Is like I think this last year was the most signed artists and stuff like that came from TikTok.
It's absolutely insane. I'm not sure if you saw the meme of Chris Rock and Will Smith, but they were making memes of them, and one of them was TikTok versus A&R. Whack! It was just like, and I saw that, I just like, oh my God. But I mean, like, there's some pretty crazy things.
What did you think about all that Will Smith, Chris Rock stuff?
I think it was inappropriate at the end of the day. I actually get to watch the Oscars. I had a fit about that the other day. I'm a very big award show person. That's like, you know how people watch the Super Bowl? Mm-hmm. For me, it's award shows. But the Oscars, I was born on the day of the Oscars, funny enough. Weirdly, that my mom told me that the other day, and I was like, oh, really? And then we tried to watch it here, but I'm in the United States, and we couldn't find it. They didn't have the channel.
Oh, wow.
I was freaking out. I was so mad. I'm reading on Twitter what's going on, and I was like, what? I was like, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock? What?
Mm-hmm. I saw Twitter feeds for it, too, and I was like, well, wait a minute. I'm like, what's going on here? So I started looking, and I got to watch shortly after it happened, and I was like, oh my God, that's crazy.
I tell you, I was just, at the end of the day, it was inappropriate. He shouldn't have done that. You don't walk on stage if you don't like what someone's gonna say in a professional setting like that. You don't go up and slap someone. That's absolutely inappropriate. I love Will Smith. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that is my go-to show if I want to watch something funny. I think of him as a comedian, right? And then you see that one. I was like, okay, now that's just crazy.
It definitely changes the way you look at someone like that, just reacting the way they did. And obviously there could be so many things going on behind the scenes, and we all understand that, but you took it a step too far.
Yes, and I don't think people realize that, especially in the music industry, there's so much craziness that is going on behind the scenes and no one will know. Mm-hmm. Like, it's crazy. Like, I didn't understand this until like a year ago. If I put myself back a year from now in this position that I am in, I would have been so confused, because I was just like, the things I learned about the industry are going on behind the scenes that just the public will never know unless you're in the industry.
Mm-hmm. And I have a different point of view of it like that with the promoter side of things. When I help with shows and that, like, building that part, and then you guys having to build your side. There's so much that goes on to putting on just anything really these days.
Oh, exactly. And the same, like, people don't realize how many, like, for your team, when you start at the beginning, you're alone, but then when it starts getting bigger and faster, you need to make your team pretty good, pretty fast, but you need to be sure of who you trust.
The dog just came back, is looking at me funny now. He's a weirdo sometimes. He's deaf too, so I can't talk to him and tell him to do anything. He just stares and looks lost half the time. There, he's popping in on the camera here.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah. All right. I have a set batch of questions I always ask everyone. They're almost cookie cutter, and they make you think a little more.
I'm sorry, you cut out.
Okay, let's make sure my audio is good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying I have a set list of questions that I ask everyone all the same, just to make sure that we kind of have some unity. They do make you think a little bit more, so they're good to get some extra stuff out of you.
All right, sounds good. Let's go.
First one I have is a fun one. Who would be your dream collab?
Dead or alive?
Either or.
Christina Grimmie.
Okay. Why?
She is my idol still. Since I was about 10 years old. And I remember seeing her at concerts, and I followed her on YouTube, and just what a talent. Oh my goodness, what a kind person. And just the voice that she had a voice. It's like someone, like she talks, she was a very shy person, but then she's kind of like Ariana Grande. She has this crazy big voice, but she's like 5'1". And I was like,
yeah, I know that.
Such a tragedy what happened. It just breaks my heart.
Yeah, for sure. No, that would be a good one. I think with your style of music, I think that would work really nicely.
Yes, I would just have to calm down on the cursing.
Yeah. I mean, you probably throw the occasional one in there, but
oh, it happens.
That's just life these days. My wife doesn't like how much I swear.
Oh my goodness. There's children swearing, and I was like, I have to watch my mouth. I was at Disneyland the other day. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I need to watch my mouth. I don't want to get arrested by Mickey Mouse. Like,
and they have like Disneyland jail apparently.
Oh, they probably do. I would not be surprised, actually. I'm just like, I was just the visual I got in my brain of Mickey Mouse arresting me. I was like, man, that would be a great album cover.
That'd be great. Anyway, yeah, just that picture would be perfect.
Exactly. But the thing is, I love Disney so much that I cannot do that. I can't do that. I can't get banned from Disneyland.
I mean, you could ask them to stage it for you.
Oh gosh, I was like, I'm gonna be like the worst role model for children if that happened. It's arrested by Mickey Mouse. Dear God.
I would love to see that. I want to do something like that now.
Yeah, I'm gonna have something's gonna happen. I don't know what it is, but yes, it will happen at one point.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing it when it does, anyways.
Oh, exactly. You'll see it. It will be online somewhere.
All right, my next question for you. Something that's on your playlist that people wouldn't expect that you listen to.
Let's check. On my playlist.
Like your go-to playlist. I know like I built one myself and I put whatever on there, but I love to hear what people's kind of secret ones are.
Secret ones. Wow. I would say, me literally looking to see, like, I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place, but I feel like that's very much in my music taste as well. So like, so everyone knows I like depressing music. I don't know. I've never gotten that question before.
I told you it'll make you think a little bit.
It is making me think, but I would say probably I feel like if I say half of this, I'm like, it's probably already given. Like Hugh Laurie, probably.
Okay.
Or Bob Marley's in there too.
No, but those are good ones.
Sarah McLachlan, yes. Yeah, that's such a hard question because I'm kind of all over the place, but I think everyone knows that, so it's not like unexpected.
And that's actually why the question was going to be a really good one for you, because your tastes are a bit all over. So.
Oh yeah, Imogen Heap. That's another one.
Okay.
I love her.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I'm the good. I love a good song, no matter what genre, whatever. If it's done nicely and it hits a little bit more, I love that. So I have everything on my playlist from like Metallica to 50s Motown to John Williams classical piano, things like that, all over the place.
Oh, exactly. Like if you go through my phone, I tell you, you never know what's going to play. You can't just put my phone on shuffle because God knows what's going to show up on there.
Nice. All right. Next question. This one tends to make people think a little bit more. What's one thing that you wish more people asked in interviews that's not asked enough?
What do I wish people asked?
You could use it kind of more personally to you, like something that's asked that's not asked enough about you, or just in general.
How are you?
Okay.
I know it's a weird question, but how are you actually? Like, an artist is so emotional that, yeah, you have a face of makeup on and you're very you have to be on for the camera, but no one really knows what's going on in an artist's brain. You don't know if, like, no one knows what's going on behind the scenes, as we said before. So, like, an actual genuine question, how are you? Like, how are you today? How is your how is your mental health? That's actually a very important thing, and I think people need to touch on that. And I don't think people are open enough about it, mental health, even though it's more acceptable now. But it's very hard to talk about. But I think people don't realize that it's okay not to be okay.
Yeah.
Look okay on the outside, but I'm just like, oh, it's a complete mess on the inside.
No, and you know what? You're actually the second person this month who said that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Who said
that's
it for me?
Jesus, I can't remember. I have to look up my playlist here of videos. If I'm not mistaken, it's either Nikki Kennedy or Carissa.
Oh, wow. I have to look them up. I've never heard of them.
I have interviews with them on my YouTube there. I can send over a link for you later.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, how are you? The genuine question. I know it's a simple question, but it's true, because I don't think people really care about people as much as they do anymore.
And it actually fits really well because everyone just went through some crazy stuff with COVID. So people's mental health got affected a lot.
I swear to God, like, when I have children someday, I'm not looking forward to like studying the chapter in history from the year 2020 to 2023. I already know I'm just happened. There's a war in there too, and then the Capitol got stormed. I was like it just sounds absolutely chaotic when you start saying this out loud. It's just heartbreaking to hear how crazy the world's been in the last 3 years.
Oh yeah, like you found out just who people really can be with this type of thing.
Any problems that were under a carpet got ripped out very fast.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I know, like the storming of the Capitol there. I live just close enough to downtown where I could hear the honking all day long, but not close enough to actually be involved in it. So it was just constant noise in the background all the time.
Between that, but also the United States, like that happened too. There's just so many crazy things, like I can't even name half of them because I'm just like, the list is going to go on and on, like Santa's naughty list. Like, it's
once a month there's something new that happens and it's like, oh my God, what's next?
More like once a week, I'd say, at this rate.
Yeah. Well, now apparently we're going into a 6th wave of COVID and there's all kinds of other fun things happening.
Are you kidding me?
Well, that's what I read, some stupid news things today. It's
people get vaccinated so this doesn't have to keep happening. Oh my God.
It's not even that anymore. Even it's gone down to the equivalent of a flu at this point. People are just going to get it because it's just going to happen.
Oh, exactly, at this point. And just, it's hard. It's really hard on a lot of industries. And then everyone's going on tour at the same time. So there's not many venues, and then there's like a funnel of craziness.
Yeah, we actually in Ottawa, I think we have 2 venues left open that actually do shows anymore. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to bounce back this year.
Yeah.
My last and final question, and this one always elicits more thought because of how deep it can get. What's some advice that you were given when you were coming up in music or life in general, even, that really that you held on to really hard?
Don't take anything personal.
Okay.
Follow your gut. People will describe how do I explain this? People define themselves not only by words, but they define themselves more by actions. So I'd say, don't trust people that fast, because this is an industry you shouldn't be trusting people that fast. and I took a lot in me. And so basically, words won't define the person. They can say whatever they want, but their actions will define who they are.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that, and don't take anything personal. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes, especially for us, like the artists. Then think about the managers behind the artist. There's all these crazy internal problems that no one knows. And like, well, they didn't answer my text. Don't take it personally, because there's probably craziness going on behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I get something like 300 emails a day, so it's hard to reply to things sometimes.
Exactly. Or also stay humble. Stay humble and keep your feet on the ground, and remember the reason that you're here is because of your fan base. They're the ones who push for you. They are the reason that they are putting food on your table, and you should never forget that.
Mm-hmm. No, those are definitely good remarks. Is there something that personally that you could, from your experiences, that you would give advice to people now?
I would say trust your gut. Don't trust people so easily. Keep not keep your distance, but make sure that you have to have your own back at the end of the day in this game, and you need to really, really not take anything personally. And on top of that, don't trust people too fast, because you never know what they're gonna do. They might be your best friend 1 second and then
No, for sure. That I've had that experience with a few people, so that brings home to me.
Work. Not even only in work, but just in life.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Deep words for sure.
Yes, I'm not a dramatic or deep person whatsoever.
Well, hey, we all need to get that a little bit.
Oh, exactly. Therefore, welcome to the shit show. Is out April 1st.
I think actually I might be launching this interview on April 1st. I don't know. I have to look at my schedule.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know if I have something already pre-done for that. It depends on, I don't know exactly what my release schedule is right now. That's pretty much all I have for you. Is there anything you want to ask me, like at the end of this?
No, I think not. Are you guys doing Blues Fest?
Actually, yeah, I'm trying to figure out get involved in that. So typically we do Blues Fest every year, so we should have full coverage for that, which would be fun.
That's gonna be very fun. Well, I hope you have a nice day, and it's nice speaking with you.
Yeah, and do you want to actually, so album coming out or EPs coming out on the 1st? Did you have any live shows and stuff coming up?
I have a live show on 1 second. This is how I used to not have a calendar. Now I do, for a reason. On May 3rd, I will be playing at the Lemon Stage in Toronto at the Elma Combo. Very exciting. And that will be my first live, actual in-person performance of me being an artist. Because like since all my music's been released. Because when did I get to perform, right?
Yeah. I'll see if I can get one of my guys out to cover that, because I have
it's really fun. I'm playing with some people, Chris Gray, Allegra Jordan, Chloe Florence. It's a great, Jessica Lemon really is pushing for us emerging artists, and the Alma Combo is legendary, so we're all very excited to play.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to it. So yeah, that's it for me. You enjoy the rest of your day, and looking forward to see more coming out from you soon.
Thank you so much. Well, have a nice day.
You too. Bye.
Goodbye.